This is Jamerica 5288. I hope you're having a wonderful day because I am. You know what I did? I canned the callaloo. I canned the callaloo and I canned some, some leftover spaghetti, but mainly I canned that callaloo. And the callaloo cost me what? A pack of seeds and some water and some time. Man, you know how much money I saved by doing it myself? Canning is not hard. It's not hard. People try to make you afraid of doing it. It's not hard. Trust me. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I have patience, but you just have to pay attention. Get that ball canning book and you go in there and you can whatever you want. So let's get to it. But before we do that, please like and subscribe. So we're going to get to it. We're going to can this callaloo. No problem. No problem. This Jamerica way, well, the ball canning way, but we're going to can the callaloo. Just a second. This is Jamerica 5288. So today we're going to can our callaloo that we picked and cooked yesterday. So I have a pot full of callaloo here, right? And I have saltfish in there, or codfish, salted codfish. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill the jars up and we're going to get them cleaned up. Now, if you don't know the time limit on your canning for specific products like vegetables or fish or chicken or beef or pork or whatever, get a ball canning book. I know I'm wet. I've been washing dishes. I'm sorry. Get a ball canning book and it'll tell you the times. So don't rely on me. Buy or get the ball canning book or look it up online from one of the reputable sources. Okay, so I got my jars here, right? Let me pull you down. Got my jars and I got my my pot of callaloo. And I'm just gonna fill it up. Without making too much of a mess. Let me get something to poke it down. I already put water in my Presto. There are lines in the Presto. Every canner has a different delineating line or amount of water you have to put in there. So just because I put a specific amount of water in there does not mean that your canner has the same limits on it that mine does. So read the instructions for your individual canner. And this is a pressure canner, okay? I'm pressure canning these. Now there's a difference between water bath canning and pressure canning, but I am doing a pressure can. So I'm pushing my stuff down, pushing everything down. All right. So I don't have enough water in there. See that? I do not have enough water in there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water in here to cover up the callaloo. You do not want to go past this bottom line right here. Do not want to go past there. So that one's done. That's one. Still another one. Get my funnel. I don't remember if I had to buy this funnel or if it came with the canner. I think I had to buy it separately. And the debubbler, well, I'm so hard on things, I broke the debubbler. So now I just use this. Okay, get some more. Press it down. Make sure I don't have too much. That's fine. All of this is from the garden. I'm gonna pull this habanero out. See that? That red? That has to come out. Somebody don't get a mouthful of heat. I don't want that. Some people can't take a mouthful of heat. So, take it out. All of this came from the garden. The videos are gonna be consecutive, so I let this stuff cool off. And now I got too much in here. And now we're gonna can it. Eat it when we need it or when we want it. Who wants to eat callaloo for 7-10 days? Because there's a lot of callaloo. Unless you're having a picnic. Put this here. Unless you're having no, I shouldn't say picnic, but unless you're having a park outing, it's good to can your stuff so you can have it for later. Remember they used to have, remember that now or later? Eat some now, save some for later. Eat some now, save some for later. Now or laters. Remember that commercial? They don't do commercials for those no more. That candy was cheap. They disappeared. Maybe they still have now or laters. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know what kids eat now. All right. Take my knife. Still got too much in there. Take some out. Take some out. I'm gonna wipe these down with vinegar anyway. You'll see that in a minute. Let me get some water. Cover it up. Push that down. There we go. 4 cans. Wow, and I still got a whole lot left. Okay. Well, thank you, God, for blessing me. What I'm doing is I'm getting as much greens in these little jars as I possibly can. It's not gonna be just filled up with water. It's greens in here. I'm gonna have to open up 2 cans just to feed the family. Or a bunch of cans of water. That's a waste of jars. Take some of that out. There are going to be people watching saying, do not use a butter knife. Do not. You're going to crack the jar. Oh, no. Ah! I've been doing this for a little while and I ain't cracked the jar yet. Let me not jinx myself. They might be like, well, today will be the day. I don't have a debubbler, so I'm doing the best I can. Let me get some water. Cover these greens up. And it's not water, I mean juice. Cover the greens up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty. Thank you, Jesus. It's mostly water in there. Let's see here. I got my coffee here. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Fill that one up. Put it to the side. Put it to the side, Jamaica. Now it's the beginning of June and I already got this much. Woohoo! I'm so blessed. Blessings upon blessings. Blessed. Blessed. Fred Hammond. I think that was Fred Hammond. Let's try to stuff this down in here. Too much. I take some out. Just a little bit of water. There we go. A lot of jars. I gotta go in the car. Man, I don't know if I have enough jars because I wanted to do the spaghetti sauce too. We'll see. I gotta wash some more jars in a minute. And after we do this one, I'll bring y'all back once I get all those jars washed. I'm almost out of callaloo, so that's a good thing. Okay. Take my butter knife debubbler. Knock some of this stuff out. I got too much. Too much. Still too much. Take that out. Okay, so that's done. What I don't want to do is just leave this stuff out. So, let me put this right here. Balance. Cover my pot back up. And I'm going to bring you over here, okay? Okay, so I have my jars right here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bowl of vinegar, right? And we're going to wipe the rim of the jar. So I stick my paper towel in here and I'm gonna wipe it off just to get it as clean as possible, just in case there's some grease in there. Gonna take our lid, put it on there, do it finger tight. You're not gonna crank it down. You're just gonna do it finger tight so the air can be released. I'm gonna put it in here. Let's do another one. Wipe the rim. Get any debris that might be on that rim off because it'll stop it from sealing. Another thing I used to do that I need to start because I reuse my lids is that I wipe the lid off with the vinegar too. It helps it seal. I'm gonna continue to do that because when I stopped, I had a problem with my jar sealing. I just crank this, just finger tight. Look, I can get it off. We want the air to be able to release from these jars. Put it in the thing. Put it in the pressure canner. Wipe it, right? And don't worry, your food is not gonna taste like vinegar, okay? Take my lid, wipe it off with the same vinegar. Fingertip tip tight. See that? Food right there. Right on the top. Wipe it off. Your towel, your vinegar towel. And I've been dipping the towel in the vinegar each time. So I get a fresh dose of vinegar. Vinegar cuts grease. Get my lid and wipe it off also. I want them both squeaky clean. And then I'm just gonna put it on and fingertip tight. Put it in the canner. Moving right along. Use my thing, my vinegar bowl. Wipe it off. Wipe my lid off. Some people boil their lids. They say you don't have to. I'm not going to. You can do it if you want to though. And there we go. I'm gonna put it in here. Now this rug was trying to trip me. So I put you rug. Leave me alone. I'm trying to work. This is an old lid, I could tell. Let me make sure that I bend it when I open the jar. Okay. That's another thing, you need to check your lids and make sure there's no bends in it. I remember one time I bought some new jars and all of the seal, the lids, and when I talk about lid, I'm talking about this. They had a little dent in them. I was like, how did that happen? Anyway, I had to use the ones that I bought, the separate box, to seal those jars because the lids were no good. That came with the jar. All right, this one is done. And wipe it off real good. Look at that, I got a piece of green off of this one. Turn the thing around. Wipe it off. It's an old lid too. Make sure there's no dents in it. Looking to see if there's any dents from where I opened it. There's none there. Get this thing as clean as possible. Some people don't like using old lids because they don't seal. They say they don't seal as well. But if you clean them off real good, I don't know if this is worth it. If you clean them off really good and reuse them. Now if they're dented, did I feel something? Close my eyes so I could feel better. I think I felt a dent. That's fine. Put that on there. And I'm gonna put this in the canner. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of the jars and I'll bring you back when I get to the second tier so you'll see how we stack them. What we do is we fill the bottom as much as we can. We get another tin because there's a tin that goes in the bottom of this canner, right? You never put your jars directly on the bottom of the canner, they'll pop. There has to be a rack, and these are the racks. Well, this is one of the racks, okay? So once I get this first tier, so there's one rack down here, right? So that these cans that I just put in here are not directly on the bottom of the canner. And when I get to my second level to separate them and distribute the weight, I put another tier on here. I'll be back in a minute. And I'm back. I just washed another 12 of the, where is it? Another 12 of the glass, jars. These are smooth jars, though. That's all I could find at Walmart, so that's good enough for me. Need some more. All right. Got greens everywhere, but that's all right. Think I got too many. Yeah, I got way too many. I got way too many. Too many. All right. Now that I effectively messed up the lid, the seal. I got all kind of greens on the seal. That's one. Get my funnel. Scraping the jar. Told you I don't care about the juice. I want the greens. So I'm kind of straining off that juice just so I can get mostly greens and codfish. think I can get one more jar. I got Bill Withers in my head. Bill Withers. You keep on using me until you use me up. Sometimes my friends think they're appointed duty. They tell me all you want to do is use me. I know I don't sound like him. I can't sound like him. I'm a girl. I love that song. All right. It's good. Good enough for Jamaica work. So we have nothing but a bunch of juice in here. Nobody's going to eat that. Maybe I'll strain it off. Have it for lunch. Let me get this in the soda water. And where's my thing? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the same thing out. Now I'm gonna call it olive oil, our vinegar. Gonna wipe the lid off. Wipe it. Make sure it's squeaky clean. Get your cap, put it on there. Fingertip tight, okay? Put it in your can. I need to get one more in here, in the bottom. All right. More vinegar. Fresh vinegar, fresh. These bottles, when I was washing them, when I opened them initially, they smell funny. Wash your jars. They smelled really funny. I don't know what made me bring you over here. So, let me get my other rack. Here's the second tier, my other rack. Put it right here. Put that can right here. I'm gonna can up the spaghetti sauce as much as I can. And man, how many did I have down here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I should be able to get at least 9 in here, or 10. So I'll be right back. Okay, I got them all in there, and I had 2 jars to spare. All the spaghetti sauce is in. Everything is in here. Look at this. Look at this thing stacked. So what you want to do is you want to get your seal, right? Right, because it's going to come in separate, and you want to put your seal into the slot of the top of the lid. Then you want to check to make sure this thing moves freely. And guess what? There's something missing. There's a spout that's supposed to go here. So let me go and check my stash and get another spout in there, because that one fell out. Just a second. I put the spout back in. Here it is, a little black spout. It just seals it. It's just a safety valve that pops out if this thing becomes overpressurized. It's just a safety precaution. And you need to check this right here to see if it's loose. Because this, once the canner pressurizes, this is gonna pop up, and that's when you put your weight on. But we're not gonna do that right now. Every canner is different. Some people have weights with different weights on it. This one just has a regular weight, one weight, okay? So I'm gonna turn this upside down. What we need to do is we need to put the seal in here. I have several seals. Let me see which one I wanna use. They're all, look at that. So I'm gonna take this one. Let me make sure, right? I want this one. So I'm gonna take some oil, put it in the palm of my hand, and I'm gonna rub it on this seal. Not a lot, just enough. Just enough. Get it all over there. I'm gonna take the seal, take my lid, and I'll put this seal into the slots in this canner lid, right? Flip it over, put it on top of the canner, get it on there. You'll know because it won't fall down unless it's in the right spot, and I'm gonna turn it. That was quite easy, but that might be because I put some oil on there. So take my oven and I'm gonna turn it on high, and I'm gonna wait for a steady steam to come up and for this thing to pop up. Once this thing right here, the one that was loose, once it pops up, I set my timer for 10 minutes. That's what it's called, pressurized, because this little thing, when it pops up, it seals off the canner, right? And it builds up pressure within this canner, right? And then I set the timer for 10 minutes, and once it goes 10 minutes, then I put my weight on. But we'll go over that once we get to that point. So make sure it's centered on this glass top. Make sure I have it on high. Close up my oil, and I'll see you when the little top, the little silver top thing pops up, okay? Okay, you see this thing? It popped up. You see that? So now we're gonna set our timer for 10 minutes, and that's pressurizing the canner. So once this pops up, this thing right here, see that? 10 minutes. So let's get to it. There we go. I'll see you in 10. So you can see that this thing has popped up and my timer has went off for 10 minutes. So this thing stays risen the entire time we're gonna be pressure canning. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the weight, right? Because this is the way this Presto canner works. Not every canner is like this, okay? And I'm gonna put that on top of it. I am going to turn my timer off. And then I need to watch my gauge like a hawk and make sure that it doesn't rise above 11. So 10 is right in the center, and I wanted to get it right there, but we're gonna slowly do it. So I'm gonna take it off high, I'm gonna turn it down to about 8, right? Because I want the pressure. You see it's almost at 5 right now, right? The pressure is building up in this canner. At this point, don't leave this thing unattended. Watch it like a hawk, okay? Because this is the dangerous part, even though there's a safety valve right here, okay? So I'm up to 5, and I'll bring you back when it gets up to about a 10, 11-ish area, okay? I'm gonna consistently start turning it down. The closer it starts getting to 10, the lower the temperature is. And on my oven, I bring it down to about 3.5, 4, which is a medium low heat. Every stove and canner is different, so you got to find the balance for your particular canner and your particular stove, because everyone is different. But the main thing is, do not leave it unattended, and make sure that you check what your pressure is for your area. Around here it's about 11. Every area is different for the pressure reading, so you need to check your canning book and check online to see what pressure your canner should be in for your area. But mine is 11, so I'm just past 5. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more to about 7. The closer it gets to 10, the lower I'm going to bring the temperature. I'm gradually bringing up the pressure. Just remember that the gauge reacts after it hits that pressure. So it could say 11 on this gauge and it's actually at a 15, and then the gauge will keep on moving. So I'm slowly turning it down because I know how this thing works. At least this canner with this stove. I can't speak for yours. So I'll bring you back when I'm at about 10, 11, okay? So you see that it is at 10 right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start my timer. This timer only goes up to 99.99 minutes. So I'm gonna put it at cook time 9960, which is 100 minutes. You got to trick the thing. And I'm going to turn, timer. What the heck? Let me cancel that and start over. Timer 9960. Timer. Okay, we started. Now all we have to do is make sure, you got to make sure that this gauge does not fall below 10. Never let it, whatever your pressure measurement is for your area, do not let that gauge fall below that number. If it goes over a little bit, you're okay. You can just bring it back down and get it back to where it needs to be. But if it falls below, you got to start the timer all the way over. So never let it fall below. Just don't leave the thing. Just watch it. It's not worth it. It's not worth starting over, and it's not worth this thing. You know, this is a mom, right? It's not worth this thing popping, this little gauge popping off and causing a mess and spewing all kind of God knows what out, because I've never had it happen. Watch this thing. Make sure that the gauge doesn't drop, and make sure that it doesn't get down to this caution area, because this is one of the area that says caution. Now, if you have the kind that wiggles, I can't tell you what the wiggles sound like, but I think it's supposed to be a circular motion, like the sun rotating the earth, not like a top spinning. But you need to read your directions and watch a couple of YouTube videos if you have the one without the gauge on it, or if your gauge is not working. If your gauge is not working, just buy another gauge, because I can't decide whether, you know, what is what. I'd rather just have the gauge. It's safer that way. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. 100 minutes. Watch your gauge. Make sure that it doesn't drop below whatever the pressure is. Mine is between 10 and 11. I start the timer at 10, and I'll see you in 100 minutes, all right? Okay, the timer went off, and I turned the stove off. So do not touch this canner. See that? It's still up. You don't want to touch the weight or this. Don't touch anything until this little thing drops. And even when it drops, wait an additional 10 minutes before you touch anything on this canner. Don't touch the weight. Certainly don't touch the lid, please. Wait till that drops. Wait an additional 10 minutes, and then I'll show you what we're going to do, all right? Yeah, I know y'all listen to me, right? Don't touch that canner. Do not touch it. We're not going to get scalded out here. No. Wait till that nipple drops. Then wait another 10 minutes. I'm just telling you, I'm your friendly Jamaica. Trust me. Don't touch it. So the nipple has depressed. See that? It went back down. Woo! Don't touch that, Jamaica. What's wrong with you? And we can take the weight off. See, there's no steam coming out of there. But before we open this thing, I am going to set this timer for 10 minutes. And we are going to wait 10 minutes before we open this lid. See you then. While we're waiting, I wanted to show you two of the books that I got. Now, this one is the one that I recommend, right? I mean, you have to look and see what they say, but if I look down here, it says number 4 for seafood, process jars for 100 minutes, and it even has a 10-minute thing. It says place jars in pressure can, adjust level, lock lid, and bring to a boil over a medium heat. Vent steam for 10 minutes, close the vent, continue heating to achieve 10 pounds of pressure, process 8-ounce glasses, which is what I have, and pints for 100 minutes. And then it says turn off the heat, let the pressure return to 0 naturally, wait 2 minutes longer, then open the vent, and by vent they mean this, the weight. Where was I? Then open the vent, remove canner lid, wait 10 minutes, then remove jars and store. So I'm just waiting 10 minutes. I got 2 more minutes on this thing. So this is the Ball Complete Book to Home Preserving. Okay, it has a bunch of recipes in there. I've never followed any of the recipes. The only thing I really wanted to know was the times, how long I had to pressure can something to make it safe to store on the shelf. Now, before I knew any better, and I don't make jellies, and I'm getting ready to make pickles, so maybe this thing will come in handy. I bought this one, but this was the wrong one. This is just for canning jams, jellies, pickles, and more. So it's basically a bunch of jellies in here. I didn't see anything else. Pineapple, plums, apples. I see a bunch of fruits. Yeah. This is basically for jellies. Tomato sauce is in here also, so I guess that's a good one. Process pint jars for 35 minutes and 40 minutes for quarts. So I haven't used this one much. This is the one I use. I almost ruined it. I got it wet, so I put it all the way up in the cabinet. So we have 42 seconds. We're gonna use this. No wonder it fell down because I'm getting ready to use it. And if you have a countertop, put a towel on your countertop. This countertop, it's cold. Those jars are hot. So what I normally do is first of all, I take the wood, because this wood is never as cold as this granite countertop, never. And to make things even safer, I'm gonna go and get a towel. I have this brown towel that every time I use it, it leaves all kind of, excuse me, I'm showing you my business. It makes all kind of little brown lip balls all over me. So I don't like using it. There's a timer for 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and open this thing, and let's do true to form what the ball canning book says. Since I waited 10 minutes, I could wait another 10 minutes. I ain't got nothing to do today. So I'm going to take this canner, right, and I'm going to open it slowly, right? Then you take the lid and you flip it away because there's still steam in this thing. I'm going to let it sit there for a second, and then I'm going to take this canner and move it away. The canner lid and move it away. There's still steam in here. So the ball canner book said to let it sit in here for another 10 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do. Timer. And I can hear them popping. They're going to make a sound every time they do it. So I heard one pop. And I'll be back with you in 10 minutes. And then we'll move it over here. And there's going to be a towel over here when I come back. So just a second. Our 10-minute timer just went off. Let me turn it off because it's kind of annoying. All right. So I have my, I don't know, can picker-upper. And I'm going to go in, not with my hand, don't touch these jars. And I'm going to start putting them on this towel. Now, I moved the thing because I have too many jars and I didn't have enough space on that cutting board. So I'm going to move them from the canner to the towel. All right, you don't need to see me, you just need to see me do my magic, huh? The magic is about to happen. So this is the bottom of the can picker up, right? This is where you put your hands. So you go in there, right? And this thing locks on the lid and it picks it up and you transfer it to a surface. Remember, put it on a surface that you're not going to want to use for the next 24 hours because these things have to sit here. Do not move them. Once you put them there, that's where they're going to be for the next day. You don't take them out until the next day. You don't move them until the next day. It interferes with them sealing correctly. So you got to leave them there. So make sure you put it in a place where it's not going to be in your way. Let's get back to get them out. See what we got here. So these are all spaghetti. I'm going to put all the spaghetti together. All of my spaghetti sauce is out. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to get, okay, time to get the Callaloo. I don't know if the camera's on. Oh, it is. It is. I'm my own cameraman. You got to forgive me. Here's one. rack. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So here we have it. I have 11 cans of greens. How much would that cost you at the store? Let's say they're $3 each. That's what? $33 because there are 11 of them. And then spaghetti sauce with meat in it. I don't know how much it costs nowadays. Let's say they're $2. So I got 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe $16, probably more than that. They're all done. I can reuse these jars, and the callaloo that I grew, let's say the water cost me maybe $20 and the callaloo cost me $2. I ain't even say the water didn't cost me $20 because I watered the whole garden. Anyway, that's the most expensive part, the water. The seeds didn't cost me anything. Look at that. And I bought a little bit of dirt. Well, actually, I reused the dirt on this one, so the dirt was free. So there we have it. We got our callaloo. That's what this is about. Doesn't that look pretty? Don't those look pretty? And they are going to taste good because that fish that we put in there has infused into that callaloo. That stuff is going to be delicious. Delicious. And it's still bubbling. Look at that. Still bubbling. And it seals. The heat makes it seal and shut down. So in 24 hours, I cannot touch these. You leave them right there for 24 hours. Just put it, as I said, put it in a place where you don't need, you're not going to need that space for another day. And that's it. Well, there was one thing that I did not tell you guys. There's going to be a band on top of your cans. Let me go get a can and show you. I'll get it later. So here are some beans, right? You notice there's no band on it? You do not store these things with the bands on it. If you have the bands on it, you're not gonna know if the seal popped. You might get a crust around it. It may seem like it's still sealed, but it's not. And then you could get sick. Bandless. You don't want to stack a lot of stuff on top of it. And you want to store it in a cool, dark place in your pantry. I've had these beans since 2021 and they're still sealed. They're still good. So take your bands off, store after the 24 hours, take your bands off, make sure that this thing, there's a button in here and make sure it doesn't make that, if it makes that sound, it's not sealed. There's no sound. When I tap this, nothing, right? Make sure that the thing is sealed. And another way is you just hold it like this. And that means that the cap is sealed. It's suction cupped on there because of the heat. Okay, take your bands off. Make sure the seal is there. Store it in a cool, dry place. Cool, dark place, not dry place. Cool, dark place. Not in a windowsill, not in your garage, even though I might have some in my garage because I ran out of room. But that's what you want to do. Make sure it's dark, no windows, no nothing, and make sure you take the bands off. All right, let's go to the next slide. So this is Jamerica 5288. I hope you like this canning session. Go ahead and get that ball canning guide. It'll help you out a lot. You have to search for the information sometimes. It's kind of buried into the paragraphs, but you know, you got to read. We don't do that often unless it's on a computer nowadays. Just get the book. So if your computer goes down, you still have it on hard copy. Not everything needs to be related to the computer. You know, sometimes we have power outages and we ain't got no electricity down here. Not often. I'm not going to speak that to existent. It doesn't happen often. But there's my canning. There's my stuff. They're still hot. I'm not going to touch them. But I'm so proud of myself because initially I was afraid of this thing. I was afraid. And then I was afraid that I was going to do it wrong and we were going to get botulism. And man, them prices went up for that meat. And I was like, oh, no bueno. I cannot do it. I cannot pay $5 for a can of chicken. I cannot do it. So I'm just going to have to learn. That's what I did. That was a couple of years ago. I thank you guys for being with me. This is Jamerica 5288. Jamerica 5288. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this. This is part 2 of me picking that callaloo, cooking the callaloo, canning the callaloo. Done. Done. Thank you for being with me, and you all have a blessed day. Bye.